or you'll roll right by God's microphone, God's microphone. No, you can't go to heaven on Rolling Stone. You roll right by God's microphone, don't want to die that you can't go to heaven in the Village Voice, the Village Voice. Well, you could go once, but you lost your choice. You lost your choice. You could go once, but you took your choice. You can't go to heaven with the Village Voice. Don't want no jaded hippies there. Or you can't go to heaven with the New York Post. The New York Post. You won't get by Dorothy's Ghost. Dorothy's Ghost. You can't get to heaven with the New York Post. You won't get by Bill Bryant's ghost. Don't want no murder. Mongers there. Or you can't go to heaven on any fanzines, on any fanzines. They're dope for adults, they're fine for teens, they're nice for teens. You can't go to heaven on any fanzines, they're full of gas, because they're full of beans, don't want no frontal juvenilia there. Or you can't go to heaven with the Daily News, the Daily News. Though they love the Irish and the Jews, they love the Jews. You can't go to heaven with the Daily News. They sure got the ads. Where the hell is the news? Don't want no simple sidebars there. Or you can't go to heaven in Time Magazine. In Time Magazine. They're CIA. They're awful mean. They're awful mean. Can't go to heaven on Time Magazine. They're Wall Street money. They're squeaky clean. Don't want no Harvard Yardbirds there. Or you can't go to heaven in TV Guide, in TV Guide. They're working for the other side, the other side. They can't go to heaven with TV Guide. Don't you got no goddamn pride? Don't want electronic zombies there. Or you'll have to go to heaven with the New York Times, the New York Times. In spite of their vests, in spite of their crimes, you'll have to go to heaven with the New York Times. Alas, the best paper of our times. There ain't no choice, you'll have to go. Or go to hell first. In 1977, an ad appeared in the New York Times. It was in the business section. It was full page. It's about $20,000 a shot. And it was sponsored by Playboy, another great journal of our times. Quote, this is from the ad. Those young men who wouldn't sell out in 1967 are buying in 1977. They've traded in the SDS for IBM and ITT and DDB. But Rolling Stone is a magazine that couldn't wait till 1977 to sell out. They sold out right at the beginning. This is a book. This is from a book by Robert Sam Anson, and it's called Gone Crazy and Back Again. It's about the 60s. A lot of it is about Rolling Stone. He's discussing Bill Graham and Jan Wenner, and he writes, hippies were one subject on which Graham and Wenner were in full accord. Both detested them. In Wenner's vocabulary, hippie was the epithet of ultimate derision. Quote, we don't want to do that, he'd say. That's hippie. His contempt carried over to the magazine. There were no psychedelic graphics to be found in Rolling Stone's pages, no items from the underground press service, no ads for sexual emporiums, all of which sustained what Wenner called the hippie press. His own magazine, he insisted from the beginning, had to be distributed, quote, legit, like Time, end quote. Not hawked on street corners as the hippie papers were. Hippies did not work, did not want money, and Wenner, like Graham, believed devoutly in both. He told a reporter, We want to run on a solid commercial basis. That was when Rolling Stone was just starting. Quote, we also want to make money. We are in business and are not ashamed of it. In 1968, for the infamous Groupies issue of Rolling Stone, a winner wrote this copy for a full-page New York Times ad, quote, if you're a corporate executive trying to understand what is happening to youth today, you cannot afford to be without Rolling Stone. There were other competitors in the field of journalism then, of course, too, and there still are today. This is what Helen Gurley Brown of Cosmopolitan wrote. Take my word for it, when girls march, I know they dress up and look pretty to do it. In a real sense, well, when we pick up Rolling Stone today, you're sort of embarrassed, I think. You feel maybe it's a disgusting magazine, all right, but it seems as if all our failures are there. Our generation's failures rendered in a neat pseudo-hip layout. We feel responsible because Rolling Stone stands today for the failure of the counterculture, and it survives, and that means sort of our failure survives right there in front of us. Does our culture survive? Well, I don't think all the results are in yet, but at least Rolling Stone and the industry aren't doing too well either, I don't think. In a real sense, certain real sense, Rolling Stone is the trade journal of an industry. What is the industry? Why, the star-fucking industry. And more specifically, the rock and roll star-fucking industry. Or how to sell the counterculture, or the over-the-counter culture. Not for 60 pieces of silver, but just for 60 pieces, right? Not for 60 broken statues, but for 60 starfucks. Now, when we come back after a musical interlude, we'll look at a recent issue.
Scotland's land, come dance with me. Come dance with me, we'll beat that horrid band. Music at the lawns to wow the civil rest. Music at the lawns to wow the civil rest. Music at the lawns to wow the civil rest. Beatific vision of the universal joke.
Donkey scrotum in saran wrap.
Whenever I see the moon on the shore, or Copperfish along Marion Moor, or see a piano leg touching the floor, or kiss a frog with a Lincoln log, I get horny, 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 horny. I get horny, 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 horny.
We're both dead now.
No more viceroys.
That's it.
No more slurpings at the North.
Cue tune.
We don't want to be too unfair here. We're always unfair. Fair. Excuse me, Freud. We're always fair and impartial, and there's no denying Rolling Stone has done a lot of good journalism, printed a lot of good articles, and still continues to do it occasionally. And I want to quote from one of them. There really is enough guilt, I think, to go around. This was from one of their most famous issues, the Lennon interview. I think it was titled "The Working Class Hero," and this is Lennon talking to Wenner. "We sold out, you know," he said to Wenner. "The music was dead even before we went on the theater tour of Britain." This is 1969. We were feeling shit already because we had to reduce an hour or two of playing to 20 minutes of playing. Go on and repeat the same 20 minutes every night. The Beatles' music died then as musicians. That's why we never improved as musicians. We killed ourselves then to make it. Lennon continued, "Everybody wants the image to carry on. The press around with you. You want to carry on because they want the free drinks, the free whores, and the fun. Everybody wants to keep on the bandwagon. It's the Tyricon. We were the Caesars. Who was going to knock us when there's £1 million to be made? All the handouts, the bribery, the police, all the fucking hype, you know. Everybody wanted in. That's why some of us are still trying to cling on to this. Don't take it away from us, not a portable Rome where we can all have our houses and our cars and our lovers and our wives and our office girls and parties and drink and drugs. Don't take it away from us, you know, otherwise you're mad." Wenner seemed unsettled by what he was hearing. Anxiously, he kept trying to steer the conversation back to the Beatles' successes, their fame, their place in history, as he called it. What do you think the effect of the Beatles was on the history of Britain? What was it like to go on tour? When did you first start getting sort of a spiritual reaction? All that came back from Lennon, though, was bile. Quote, now here's Lennon talking. And he's summing it up in quite a pointed way. And Lennon says, the same bastards are in control, the same people are running everything, it's exactly the same. They hype the kids and the generation. We've grown up a little, all of us, and there has been a change, and we are a bit freer and all that, but it's the same game, and nothing's really changed. They're doing exactly the same thing, selling arms to South Africa, killing blacks on the street. People are living in fucking poverty with rats crawling over them. It's the same. Makes you want to puke. And I woke up to that too. The dream is over. It's just the same, only I'm 30. And a lot of people have long hair, and that's all. This is a recent issue of Rolling Stone. It's now $1.50, 90 pence in the UK, and it has a claimed circulation of 600,000, mostly young men. Let's go through it sort of page by page. A get drunk ad for Seagrams. TEAC, not hardcore, no, it's hard, what is it? Hardware, all right. Here's the staff. It's got a very large staff that you can almost read. It's larger than the voices. Here's some more hardcore, no, hard. Here's an ad for shoes. My father always taught me never to go into a store where they didn't give you the price. There's no price on these shoes. I shudder to think of what the price might be. More technical ads. And an article, nothing about the draft makes sense. Nothing about the draft makes sense. It's a fairly good article, nothing that you haven't read before if you read the Times. Here's Canadian Club on a woman's ass, I think. If you're into labels, only the best would do. More get drunk ad. Richard Gere, the Starfuck article. It's superficial and boring, I found it. Especially, I dislike reading about people I've never even seen, but that's me. Here's illegitimate child adopted. There's a gratuitous insult to illegitimate children. It's another very clever technical ad for people with a lot of technicals. This is my favorite ad in the issue and one of my favorites for a long time. It was obviously not made particularly for Rolling Stone, but for national magazines, but Rolling Stone thought it quite good. And it reads, I couldn't live without her, so I gave her a big incentive to stick around. And it's an ad for diamonds. I wanted to get Beth a diamond engagement ring as big and beautiful as our future together looked. A diamond that told the world that this wonderful woman wasn't marrying just anyone. She was marrying me, a guy who gave her a big diamond. No, that last line isn't in there. Now, I found out that today a good guideline for getting the most beautiful diamond you can afford is to spend about 2 months' salary. Well, since I'm unemployed right now, I guess that's about right. So 2 months it was, and as proud of her as I am, she's even prouder of that ring. Here's a guy who looks like Ringo. He's got a record, Michael McDonald, Warner Brothers.
He used to be in the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, okay. He's not one of the Warner Brothers? No. They owe me some money, I think. But the last time I wrote to them, they ignored my letter. I just thought I'd give them a free plug. Here's the main article of the issue, and it sort of told me I should give them a boost too. They're giving everyone a boost here. It's called "Doing It: The Inside Story of the Rise and Fall of the Weather Underground," and it says, "Behind the facade of revolution, their lives were consumed by violence, drugs, and sexual politics." If I wanted the Inquirer, I could, get it at the Grand Union. But you get it here. Okay, so you get it here. Here's Bernardine Dorn, more Get Drunk ad. This is the one, my favorite. Can you all see that? It's the Madonna, and she's holding her left breast. She would be arguing political points with blouse open by the navel, remembers Tapas. Finally, I said, "Bernadine, would you please button your blouse?" She just pulled out one of her breasts and in that cold way of hers says, "You like this? Take it." Actually, in the text, she says, "You like this tit? Take it." But I don't think you can have tit in more than a certain large type. Tit is not supposed to be too large in the type. Remember the Village Voice had this fuck quotient? You could only say fuck a certain number of times in each issue of the Voice. Here's some more pictures and another Get Drunk ad. How one of the women would get beat up by one of the weathermen. I'm sure we all want to know about that. And another Diamond ad. Now, what they don't bother to tell you, but I was never in love with the weathermen, and I thought their choice of name was just really terrible because, remember Dylan's song said, "You don't need a weatherman." You don't need a weatherman. 1 minute left for the whole show? Well, let me just make my point about the weatherman. This article just tries to trash the 60s. Some of the criticisms are valid, most of them are not. There isn't any serious discussion whatsoever about what the 60s, what our movement was all about. They ignore such trivia as the Vietnam War, the conditions of minorities in America, the Third World, and imperialists, to coin a phrase, exploitation. There's the 60s critiques of an acquisitive, superficial, life-negative society and the destruction of the environment. Outside of that, they cover everything pretty well. I'd like to end with a song, my tribute to the magazine and what it stands for, and here it goes. First public performance. Shake, shake, whore of Babylon, let me see your golden ass. Shake, shake, whore of Babylon, let me smoke your $200 grass. Shake, shake, whore of Babylon, lay me on your casting couch. Shake, shake, whore of Babylon, dream me, make me say ouch. Hey, shake, shake, whore of Babylon, I'll do anything to be a star. Try me, buy me, break my balls, slap my prick on billboard walls. Oh, shake, shake, whore of Babylon, rent my soul to the video man, option my acts to the fucker in chief. the Army, the Air Force, and the banker band. Oh, shake, shake, whorer of Babylon. Shake me, bake me, whorer of Babylon. Serve my heart on a breakfast bun. Shakey, shakey, whorer of Babylon, and play my record again. Shake, shake, whorer of Babylon, let me see your golden ass. Buy me a mansion over poverty's highway, shining in the silver glass. And shake, shake, whorer of Babylon, serve my heart on a buttered bun. Shake, shake, whorer of Babylon, then play my record again. Play my record again. And then play my record again.